Welcome to the podcast.
I'm Braeden.
I'm Bobby.
And I'm Calvin. So today we're going to be talking all things related to debt. So first let's just get everyone's starting opinion on debt before we begin our conversation.
It's bad news.
Yeah, I think debt sucks. It's kind of, it's become socially acceptable because everyone goes into debt. But it should not be because it's just dumb to me. Because you're just paying for something right away by paying more opposed to waiting.
It's not
essentially
dumb. It's not dumb. It's dumb if you do it badly, which
it's
most people do. There are ways to do it. There are scenarios in which it makes sense, but to the extent which it has been made normal and encouraged is not good.
Like paying for everything with a credit card and...
Yeah.
Like, what are your scenarios where you think it could be acceptable?
If you're buying a house, if you need something desperately, so let's say you just got out of college, you're broke, and you just got a job, but you haven't been paid yet, and you need to pay your rent, then you might need to take a loan, which is not, it's a scenario which you least want to take a loan because short loans where you just get the money right now, short-term loans, those have the highest interest.
Yeah.
But so if you need the money right then, and then I would say a car, or maybe even not a car, you'd probably rather get a cheap garbage car and wait until you could afford a good car.
A Ford or a Ford? Like a Ford car. Ford.
Like until you have enough money to purchase a vehicle without debt.
So you're not
a
biased
Ford
to
brand
Fords.
car.
Well,
You
I have
wouldn't
nothing
want
against
a Ford.
Fords. Fords are fine. They're nothing better or worse. They're like so average.
Average? You think Ford's an average brand?
Yeah.
All American.
You know that's the original...
American cars suck. I'd rather have a Italian car.
What are the Italian cars?
Ferrari and Lamborghini.
Those don't count.
What about a Bugatti?
Yeah,
That's
too.
German.
Bugatti's German?
I think it is.
No, that's Mercedes and Volkswagen.
Volkswagen.
Volkswagen, I know, is German. How do you spell Bugatti?
I think it's Bugatti. I don't think it's...
Bugatti.
Nationality.
Nationality. French.
That's fancy.
That's really fancy. Fancier than Italian. To say your car is French. We're moving back to debt. Well, to buy a Bugatti, if you're not a millionaire, you would need a lot of debt.
Don't go into debt to buy a Bugatti. It's not worth it.
Unless you're me, then you might have to.
The other situation I would say is maybe a business loan. If you have a good idea, it's nothing.
Yeah.
Depending on the business, it may or may not make sense. Student debt is acceptable, I would say, in some cases. Like if you want a certain job that absolutely needs a degree and you're working for it throughout college, I would say you could get some student debt if you need to, but I wouldn't go not pay the whole degree, definitely.
You could always just wait though.
Yeah, I'd take it
And then
slower
pay
and
less.
work.
Like if you just worked for 1 year, then you'd probably be good.
Or if you work half-time, school half-time,
Yeah.
then you make at least a certain amount of money.
Yeah, when you're dealing with student debt, when you're talking about how you said how it could maybe be acceptable, it depends on if you're trying to get around it first. Like if you're just going into it for student debt, that's just a bad idea.
No.
You're going to college, oh, let's just get all the debt here.
I'd say if you just plan ahead and start trying to make money as soon as possible and just be willing to work and wait, I don't feel like it's worth it to do student loans and all that stuff.
Yeah. Most cases it's not. For some people it may be.
Because for some people it follows you then for years if you
Yeah.
just go crazy.
And you never get a
Figure
student
it out.
loan for a degree that's not going to make you money.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If it's not going to make you money, don't get in debt for
So
it.
don't get student loan for a gender studies degree?
Yeah, I would say probably not.
Okay. Just making sure.
Got a good video on that.
Wait, what?
These are
What the
a
jobs
reaction
you're
video.
qualified for.
Oh, the
gender
Babylon
studies
video.
degree.
What jobs can you? Well, I guess we'll find out.
You'll see.
Burger flipper.
That was the first one.
So student loan you think is only acceptable like if you're already working to try not to have it, but like you have to
I don't
complete
even
it?
if it's
I'd say student
working.
loan's not acceptable.
I would say you have a career that is your dream to do, that you really feel like you're called to do it, and maybe there's some sort of time frame that's necessary, so you don't have time to take time and work, whether that's because of your age or you have a family or I don't know, whatever it is. If there's some reason you can't work and you need this degree, and the degree is going to make you more money than the loans,
Yeah.
so you better be a lawyer or a doctor.
Yeah.
Well, if it's going to be really hard unless your parents are paying for most of it and you're wealthy to become like a doctor, because you need so much education.
Well, you get
But you'll make,
scholarships.
but you can't pay for
If
it
you're
all
a
in
prodigy
scholarship.
dissecting that frog, Braeden, you can get a scholarship.
For sure.
I am a prodigy.
Dissecting frogs?
Not dissecting frogs. Other things, though.
What are you good at dissecting?
What his mother
Humans? Are you the
That's
creepy
pretty
boy who
messed
finds a
up.
mouse in a mouse trap and just starts cutting it open?
People
Say,
who do
what's
that-
inside the
People
mouse?
who do that are bound to be serial killers.
Or psychopaths?
I'm not talking about dissecting.
I was.
The only way to give you a
We're talking
prodigy.
about being doctors.
You're not
and
cutting
lawyers.
open animals. What are you doing?
Like a lawyer prodigy is just really good at lying. They lie about everything.
Yeah.
They even shoot
No,
it on the
it's
test
not
and got away
lying.
with it.
It's technicalities.
Yeah, sure.
So you're technically not lying because it was technically maybe true.
I like what you
Kind
said
of.
about cheating on the test. If they don't figure it out,
Yeah, that's how you got your
you
lawyer
should get.
start, for
If
sure.
they don't figure it out, you should be able to tell them that you lied and get extra points on the test. If
That-
you ask me,
That'd be a good.
You can't lie as a lawyer. You go to jail for perjury.
no, you can't lie if you're bad at it.
No, if they catch you, you go to jail for perjury.
I know you're not supposed to lie.
You don't actually lie, you just find loopholes and you exploit them nastily, which I am good at.
There should be a test on seeing how good you can cheat the test.
Yeah.
So you're supposed to cheat it, but you cannot cheat it. I'm not sure how that would work though. But that's an interesting idea.
That would take some planning and so.
I know a few kids who'd be really good at that.
Yeah, for
Who?
sure.
I don't want to say his name.
Yeah, don't want to rat him out.
No.
But he knows a thing or two about cheating on tests.
You could just be left wondering who.
It's probably, I don't know,
Who probably.
probably Dylan.
Yeah, definitely. The poor sickly brother who couldn't come.
You're making
Yeah.
fun of him and accusing him, and he's not even here to defend himself.
Unbelievable.
Wouldn't that be a great lawyer?
Is that-
Yeah, you'd be so good.
He's willing to throw anyone under the bus.
Even his sick friend.
So a lot of people try to say that a lot of debt is good, and things like student loans, like we were talking about, and just other forms of debt for like houses and cars and stuff, that's good debt, because either a house, it's you're making investment in what you're living in, or a car, it's to get to work or whatever. But I personally, I don't feel like any debt is good. I feel like that's kind of a misnomer. What do you guys think about that?
Misnomer?
Misnomer. I think I
What's
used
that?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's when you,
It's a word that like
That doesn't-
contradicts itself.
it sounds like something, but it means something else.
Vocabulary word
like
of the
calling
week.
debt good,
Yeah.
because debt is bad.
Misnomer.
Misnomer.
Can't believe you didn't know that.
It sounded familiar, but you know, it's a good,
Just
it's a good
so
word.
impressed by my fancy
It
vocabulary.
makes you sound so smart.
It does.
Okay, so that this don't
So lies and like people
like
saying
a
certain
lot of
debt's
people
good
say
debt.
like all student loan debt's good debt because it's for education,
yeah,
which isn't true.
I think that's a bunch of bananas
Debt should make you more money than you take out with it.
for sure.
So if you take a student, and that, even if it makes you money, that doesn't make it good. But if it doesn't make you money, it's bad. Right?
So you're saying like if you could somehow somehow. Very rarely use it as like a tool to make more money.
Well, I would not even say that. I'm just saying, although it might be, I'm not saying not that. I'm saying that if debt doesn't make you money, then it is automatically bad, right? Because you're not going to take, if you take a debt for something that's going to lose you money or
Like a
it's not going to
useless
make you
degree.
money, then you're definitely going negative, 100% certainly. But if you're taking debt to get something that will help you make more money, for example, a law degree, then that can be seen as an investment where you lose some money, but you're going to make more in the long run. Or a house, you're taking a loan for it, but you're going to make money on it, or you're going to live in it. But something like a car, you take debt for a car, your car loses like what, 40% of its value the second you drive it out?
Yeah.
A lot?
Yeah.
So there, bam, you just lost however many $1,000
Interesting.
just like that.
The interesting thing about a car, though, is if you use it to get to work, because like I don't have a job,
Ooh.
but I need a car to get to work. I'm not making any money just sitting here. But if I take out debt, because if I take out a loan to buy a car, then I'm getting money, but I have this debt.
But you could buy a car without the debt.
Yeah, but
So
Don't you
then-
have a bike?
but I can't.
Well, you can't bike to.
I've got my 4-hour bike to
Environmental.
work.
Let's live a green life, guys.
Yeah.
Perfection.
Yeah, I need like a solar-powered helicopter or something.
How much should a private helicopter cost? Because that'd be even awesomer than a private jet.
Yeah, but private helicopter is harder to get a landing area.
Yeah.
Just swing it. No.
I think
Blow
that's a
somebody's
crime,
house.
but you know.
Whatever.
We just need to find a big flat area.
You know, they don't talk. They talk a lot about owning a private jet, but no one ever flies their private jet themselves.
Yeah. I think a private jet. It's not.
That's something
dumb.
to take a loan for.
If
It's
I
not
can
dumb,
afford a
but
private jet, I'm buying.
You probably got to take a loan for a private jet.
A private
You know
jet.
how much a private jet costs?
like $3 million.
300 million.
Depends on the size.
Okay, but if you get like a big ass jet,
Well, yeah, if you
Like-
want a big one, yes, 300 million.
like the ones in all the pictures, those are 100 million
Yeah.
at least.
So
but
here's-
if you get like a little dinky plane,
I'm not
you
ta-
can get a little dinky
One
plane
seater.
for 3 million.
Like a one-seater. It's got a solar panel on the top. Though, so.
It runs on solar.
No, it's just got a solar panel. It doesn't do anything.
Just for decoration.
Yeah, to make it look.
Tax
cool.
Picture
credit.
of you know on
Tax
the nose.
credit.
Huh?
Tax credit.
Yeah, and on the nose you have a picture of Greta.
I feel like buying a private jet is not a very smart investment because how often are you traveling somewhere that requires a plane? It's not going to be worth the money. It's just
Fine,
completely a power play to own a private jet.
If I could afford a private jet, you could go anywhere so much faster. If you're wealthy enough to buy a
Fly coach.
private jet, you want to go all over the world, and then you don't have to ride on other
You could
people's
just go
planes.
anywhere whenever you want. And the other
I
thing
guess
is,
so, but
if people see you in a private jet, they will respect you way more. So
If
they'll
they
be
do-
like, this guy is a private jet, you better know something about
so if I
business.
fly
need
in
to
on coach on a
They
plane,
probably will not.
you think they're
wanna-
not gonna
I think
respect
you
you?
should hide that as much as you
But
possibly can.
What if I'm proud of it because I saved money that way?
Nope.
And then people are, oh,
Yeah, when
He's
Brandon
an
pulls up in
idiot.
his mom car, like I'm saving so much money.
Pulls
guys.
up in a Volkswagen. Everybody else is Ferraris.
you know
and
why I've
Lamborghinis.
got so much money? It's because I
saved-
live a horrible life. I'm still saving as much money as possible for no reason.
I eat rice every day. That's
I have-
all I eat.
rice.
I have
24/7.
$200,000 in my wallet, and I drive a $500 car.
And I know that I will never use that money, but I know I have it.
And that's what matters. And I'm not giving it to my kids because then they'll be spoiled.
Of course.
I'm gonna be buried with this money. I worked so hard to get it.
Just a tomb. I want to be cremated with my money.
Oh.
Just burn the money in the.
Unfortunately for you, you're I completely lost my train of thought.
I'm not sure where you're going. Was it about the private jet?
No, but
Or
your
the car.
family doesn't have to respect you if you say you want to be burnt with the money.
Oh, they
have
don't
to
have to?
No, like if you said I want to be tough, they don't have to respect that.
Oh, that's good.
I
I
would-
want to be stuffed with money.
I would want my family to
That's how I was talking
That's
about.
the perfect in between, though. But then that would give people
You're
so
just
much
standing
motivation to steal your stuffed body, though. for
You're
the
just
money.
like in the entryway of your house like this, with money coming out of your mouth.
What I would do is I would steal your body. I would replace all the money with stuffing and put it back the next day. No way.
You really want to do that?
No, that would be disgusting. It's not worth it. I don't think going into debt to buy a private jet is going to. That's a great line. I don't think that is going to make you back any money.
Good, that's giving me back so much money. I'm gonna sell rides in my private jet to people.
Yeah.
See?
Form your own airline
go.
company. But it's more because you also get business advice.
What if I have my own private spaceship? Then I can charge people to go to space.
That's
Yeah,
what
that's
they
what-
do. They already do that.
Yeah.
How much does it cost?
How much
It's like
is
a couple million.
how much is a spaceship
Million?
compared to a private jet?
The thing about
Hundreds of is
I-
a spaceship a billion?
It's
No.
probably
a spaceship's like $1 billion,
Oh.
depending on the
That's a long
reusability.
time.
Maybe you could get like a used one. What's the second-hand market like for
first
spaceships?
class. First class.
Yeah, see, here's the debris of the thruster. The capsule's up there. You have to go retrieve that
To
yourself.
buy a thruster, it costs probably way less than to buy a whole spaceship. Like you could probably buy a thruster for
The thruster is
a
the
couple
biggest part of the
hundred million.
spaceship.
Yeah, but it probably costs only a couple $100 million.
No. Because
You
you
think it
have,
costs $1 billion for a thruster?
I think so.
Let's look it up. How much does a thruster cost?
Because spaceships, you have to think about how much fuel they take to get out of the atmosphere and stuff. It's all very expensive. They use special fuels, I think.
That's why we have to charge them through the roof,
Yeah,
through the atmosphere, if you may.
$10.
Then we were gonna charge $5, but then expenses of fuel.
Gas prices went up.
It's got to be $10 each. We would get a lot of people in line.
$10
No.
a minute.
I don't think anyone who actually has money would want to ride that spaceship because they're charging me $10.
Uh-oh.
Come on, how much it costs to launch the first phase.
$10 per minute. That's probably a fair price.
Well,
You pay $300 to spend half an hour in space.
you should charge so much more than that.
But would you? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Without
Well,
even thinking about it.
it's cheap though. If you knew it was reliable and it's not like the secondhand spaceship thing where it's like gonna fall apart.
So this says that NASA's Artemis. So the Artemis campaign, putting people back in the moon, is going to cost $93 billion total.
Holy.
Holy.
But that's
Wow.
between 2012 and 2025. So that's a big span. 4.1 billion for a single launch.
This is a really long-term goal for us to start our space company.
Elon Musk claims the price tag for Starship launch will be less than 10 million. I think Starship's his thing to launch people. It's his touristy thing.
Oh.
Less than 10 million.
10 million.
Is not too bad.
No, that's not
Because
bad.
then you fit. How,
But I
how many
think-
people can you fit on it? Like 30?
I don't know. No, not
If we
big.
make our own, we can customize it.
If you fit,
We'll cut corners
if
in
you
some
fit 20
places.
people, then it'll only be $500,000 per person.
So is it worth going into debt to be launched into space and possibly die?
Well, no.
If you're like 90,
That's the thing with all these space launches is all these beginning ones for is it pedestrian?
I
Civilian?
think it is. Yeah.
Considered even those millionaires doing it.
Yeah, crazy rich.
But it's just,
pedestrian.
I think it's such a risk. You know what I mean?
This is the first experimental.
Yeah, but it's awesome.
It is awesome, but like, let's say you're young, because you see these younger millionaires doing it. It's like, why would you risk doing it now? It's gonna probably be perfected in like 10 years.
Because they want to be ahead of the curve. Because
I-
you don't become a millionaire unless you have that mentality of like trying new things.
And it's
trying
good
to do
publicity too.
Not really.
If
Yeah,
like
it
you're a
is.
famous person, oh, I'm going to space.
Yeah, that.
I've been in space.
So I think it's part of the wiring that comes with.
Well,
Making
so
money.
how many rich guys do you know if they've went to space? Great publicity, you guys should know. I can think of one, and it's that
Bezos.
Bezos. Okay,
Bezos went to
that
space.
one British guy too. White hair, white beard.
Oh yeah, him.
He went to space.
I have no clue what his name is, but I know he was on Shark Tank.
He was on Shark Tank.
He was on Shark Tank.
He was one. He wasn't.
I don't
he
know his
didn't
name.
pitch on Shark
Do you know
Tank.
who we're
He was one
talking
of the
about?
sharks.
He was like knighted by the queen. He has long white hair,
Is he an
white
actor?
beard.
He likes
What
to
did he
fight
do?
with Kevin O'Leary.
I really don't know.
I don't think he was an actor.
No, he wasn't an actor.
I don't know what he was. He was a famous rich guy. Went to space.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's a goal in life.
That's my best description right there.
So this is still very off topic for good debt.
We're talking about going into debt to go to space.
I think that's pretty good debt.
I don't know about that.
Let's say the launch fails. Then you're no longer in debt. You're in heaven or hell.
Yeah.
And then your kids have to pay for it.
So you're probably in hell then if that's the mentality you got.
Well, also if you're rich, also I think there's ways you could take debt and you're not liable for it. Like if you form a company and you take debt for your company, then you're not personally liable for it.
The company is.
Yeah. So then you could just really screw over the loan people and just have your take a big loan for your company, take all the money out of the company, let the company die. Now
That's
you have all the
illegal.
money. Companies, yeah, but it's not if you have a good accountant.
That goes back
So
to
there's
the lawyer thing. It's
So
just
there's
loophole.
there's
It's
a
just
way rich
loophole.
people can get around that.
I guess.
So that's another thing about debt. Like thinking about
If you
as a
do
normal
that,
person looks at debt, you don't want to get debt. But if you've already crazy rich and you
When
got
you're not
accountants and all
normal,
that
everything's
stuff,
different,
then you
though.
could do
Yeah.
different things. So I don't understand how they work, but I know there
Because
are
you're not
ways they
rich
work.
yet.
Worry about that in the future.
Yeah.
When
But
you're rich.
2
for the
years from
purpose
now
of this
about-
podcast, you probably don't want to get that because that's probably the only really good debt I could think of.
Well, yeah, if you're using a loophole to make money off of it when
Yeah.
you're rich, that's definitely
That's
good.
probably
debt.
about it.
So
It's
we
free
agree
money.
that no kind of debt's always good.
No.
In general, that's bad.
Yeah. I think the only thing that I
That's not-
would say in almost any case is probably fine is a mortgage.
Yeah, that's the only kind. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't. Why is a mortgage different? Is it?
Because you can't buy it by yourself.
Yeah.
Because just think, a house.
Yeah,
they,
and you
like-
can't really get a used or like a
Well,
really trash house. I mean, you could, but then the risks that would pose, like maybe it's
not
got
an
holes in the
investment.
roof. You don't have clean water, maybe.
Buying a crazy cheap house too is a bad investment because you might not be able to sell it because that would be like
it all
a
depends
gateway.
on the area, too.
That'd be
Yeah.
like a gateway, right? I'm gonna start with a cheap house and I'm gonna save up and get like.
Or you get a
nice
cheap.
house.
My aunt and uncle bought a house for like $70,000, and they fixed it up and they sold it for over $200,000.
Well, that's
So that's
different,
different.
though. That's different than
That's
buying like
flipping
your
a house.
first house and then living there and it's just like oh.
Well,
I'm
you
gonna
could
go-
buy
get
it
the
and
cheap
fix
ones
it
that don't
up.
have to go
Did they
into
buy it
debt.
with a mortgage?
I don't remember.
Don't remember. And you're telling us an incomplete story.
Wow.
Actually, I think they did. I think they did get it with the mortgage. But my point is, it might be appropriate in some cases if you find a decent neighborhood to buy a house and fix it up.
Well, yeah.
Buy a house for the cheap and fix it up, and then you wouldn't have to get a mortgage.
Yeah.
You just might have to deal with, not having a door for a little bit.
That's not a big deal.
But that wouldn't be a house to live in, though.
Yeah, but you could.
In general, when you talk about mortgage,
Yeah.
people are thinking a house to live in.
But
Yeah.
I would say, actually, I don't think it would be a bad idea to buy a house if you save up. I don't know. Even then, though, it's like $100,000, even for the worst houses.
And you also have to think about, like, are you buying a house? Because most people, when they buy a house, it's because they are starting a family.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because most single people just
Granted,
live
then you have two.
rent.
Then you have two incomes going towards it, though, which is more.
Well, another
towards-
thing, though, if you're starting a family, is are you going to have the mom stay at home?
Yeah, for
That's
for sure.
So it's one income then. But you then also need a bigger home. You know what I mean? It all depends on the situation.
I feel like that kind of goes back to the being patient and waiting type thing. Like, just work for a bit
Yeah.
and just be patient, make more money, and then you could do a bigger down payment, or you could try to do 100% down, which would
I
be,
think just
that's
people-
like the dream to do 100% down payment on like a nice house. But the problem is it's
Is it even a down payment, Braeden?
Oh, it's not even a down. Yeah, it's
yeah,
just
that's
a payment.
True. That's true. Well, whatever.
I got your 99.999% down payment.
No.
So I get to pay this $1 with like 1% interest in a month. Just so I feel like I it the normal way.
So then you want to go into debt?
Yes. Because I didn't have that last dollar, and
I
they
don't
wouldn't
know how I
budge
feel
on the
about that.
price.
With the interest rates,
The
Calvin.
$1.
That $1 is gonna be like...
I would have given you $1.
Well, I didn't ask you.
He doesn't
Then
need your help,
Then I
Bobby.
paid that to you.
No, it's not. Friendly generosity
You know-
is not debt.
Friendly generosity.
You don't want to be slave to the debtor. Especially if it's Bobby.
Remember when I gave you that $1 that one time? Yeah. You owe me.
Time to pay up.
You better come here right now.
You
and
wouldn't
move
have this
on.
nice house if it wasn't for my $1.
This is all because of me. Everything he's ever done. Because
I feel like I'm entitled to come to your house whenever I want.
want,
I
'cause
get
I
to eat
own-
whatever I want.
Eat whatever I want in the fridge.
Go in the pool.
Please just say just in the
The
pool.
pool's off limits. That's where I draw the
You're
line.
just sleeping in your bed. You hear me and like crunching in the kitchen.
Plastic some explicit rap or something.
Yeah.
Just leave a note. You're out of food.
That would be an awesome gig for you though, because then you don't have to pay anything to be the roommate. It's just a $1.
You don't even have to live there. That's a good investment.
It's just
honestly.
a crash, yeah. Well, it's a great investment because you get free food.
You just randomly give friends, here's $1. Put this towards your house.
I have $1 equity in your house.
I think that means I'm entitled to pretty much live there now.
The other thing about debt is it can really ruin your life if you let it get out of hand.
For sure.
Like,
sucks.
especially student loan debt.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Most people that do it almost all in debt follows them for years, and then
Yeah.
it's just a weight on your shoulders every single day. It's like, just that would suck to have all this.
You
debt.
finally get out of school, move away from your parents. I'm free, and then you get all
Yeah, and
this
then
debt.
like wanting to get your dream job. If your dream job doesn't make a gigantic salary, you maybe can't even do it. You'd have to go for something that's worse.
Like Chick-fil-A or
pays more.
something.
Like if your dream is to work at Chick-fil-A, you probably couldn't do that if you had all that student loan debt.
Yeah.
Well, you probably
That degree in
could.
chicken studies just couldn't pay off.
You'd have to do something risky like open your own chicken restaurant.
Oh yeah.
Chick-a-Phil.
Some people actually go in there like, can I have a Chick-a-Phil?
Oh my god.
Like old people.
Is that a thing?
Do you
No,
educate them?
it's not. No, I don't. I'm like, yes sir. One Chick-a-Phil coming right up.
What do you give them?
The Chick-fil-A sandwich. Because they just don't know how to say it.
So it's just called a Chick-fil-A sandwich.
Yep.
That's creative.
That is
Well,
so cool.
I think it's called the original chicken sandwich.
A Chick-a-Phil. That's
Sounds like a waste of money.
It's not the dumbest thing people say.
That's for sure.
People say a lot of dumb
At
things.
Chick-fil-A, though, they say perfectly dumb. But anyway,
Okay,
off topic.
continuing this, ruining your life. Something about how student loan does. I think kids see it like, okay, so I get like, how much is it typically you go in debt, Bobby?
Well, college.
Like if you're, let's say you're semi-smart and you do 2 years at community, how much would you be in debt if you
So
do 2 years?
A year of college, at an average college, let's say not a great college, is like $30K. Assuming you don't get scholarships.
So like $60K for 2 years.
Yeah, but let's say you get scholarships and it's 40.
Okay, so let's say you get 40K debt. You leave it. Kids are thinking like, okay, so I have 40K to pay off. This job makes $60K a year. I'll do that
But
quickly.
living expenses, are gonna eat up most of that anyway, and then you're not gonna have any to save to invest. It just
You can live off 25K. Like that's the bare minimum, 25K.
then you only
That's
would have,
like eating all not good food, no going
like
out.
buying a 20-pound bag of rice.
Yeah,
and just eating
and, like,
that.
That's like the bare minimum. So if you did that, you live off 25, you could pay, and you make 60, you could save a good amount of money. But that's not something you want to sustain for a long time because
It doesn't.
that kind of life is not
Plus it-
fulfilling.
plus-
Doesn't the
Take, like,
interest hit like really quickly after
Yeah.
you graduate too?
Yeah.
You'd want to pay it off as soon as possible. So that would be like that would probably be at least
2
if you're trying to
3
just
years. If you
yeah.
really hunker down, 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
Most people though are in their 20s. You get out of college, you're like, oh, look at my paycheck, look at all this money, look at what my bills are only
You
this
don't see
much.
the debt
I
behind
still
the
have
scenes.
all this money.
To spend.
I just made my payment for the debt. It's fine.
Yeah.
Now I have whatever to go out and do whatever I want with
They
my
just
friends.
see it as there's always a payment. It's like paying for gas. You have to do it. You can't just not do it. It's always gonna be there.
Yeah.
Like if you have no friends though, then that's not as much of a
Yeah.
problem.
So get
You're
that
a loner.
and lose all your friends,
You're
and then you'll be.
You
okay.
just need to invest in a couple good video games and a couple bags of popcorn.
Popcorn's healthy though.
Yeah.
You need Doritos.
Yeah, if that
Those
really sells
big
the lonely
Buckets of
lifestyle.
cheese balls.
Yeah.
You have one of those
are
around your
so
arms.
disgusting.
They make those like. That's enough to last. That's like a
Life
whole day
size.
right there. Just that and a couple bottles of Mountain Dew. There you go.
But the diet Mountain Dew, of course.
Of course, because you
So
don't want to get
healthy.
fat.
Healthy.
Eating cheese balls all day.
But sometimes I drink diet that's like, oh, why? The pain.
It cancels out the all the fat that I get from the cheese balls.
Something like that.
It makes it level.
Doesn't diet soda make you hungry? Isn't that the problem with it?
I thought it had health risks the longer you drink it.
Well, some studies show that it gives you cancer. Some show that it's fine.
It just gives you cancer.
But there are, like, credible both ways. So it's like the masks where it was like, okay, some people said it was working, some people said it isn't. So we really don't know. And then, because it could just be an outlier.
So
Either
you an
one of those.
anti-masker?
Yeah.
Look at the camera and tell them you're an anti-masker.
I'm an anti-masker.
Anyway. Well, the thing that makes no sense about it is what are sodas? They're like sugary drinks.
You
filled
still
with sugar and
shouldn't
stuff.
drink soda.
And there's 0 calories in it.
Yeah, it's like, what sort
Like,
of chemicals
what
are
are they putting in this?
They've
It's because
done
it
show-
burns it all, literally acid.
They've done studies that show that diet sodas make you hungry.
Really?
Yeah, so maybe the soda itself isn't making you fat, but because of the chemicals they put in to make it sweet.
What are they putting in it that makes you hungry? That's
Well,
concerning.
part of it might be though a
More.
regular
You get
soda
fat.
fills you a bit though
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Should be expected to be filled more.
No, but
Does a
even
diet
compared
soda
to
fill
like
you?
water.
Hmm.
So drink water, milk, tea,
And sparkling water.
Yeah,
If you're rich,
but not soda.
tea's the best.
Tea is a.
Tea's for British people and women.
So now that we've talked so much about how bad debt is, let's talk about what you could do instead of getting debt.
Obvious route is just patience, right?
Get a damn job.
Yeah, plus that.
Sleep it, that's fine.
I think another thing is, yeah, what Brandon said, patience. Everyone wants instant gratification,
Yeah.
which is a big thing that is debt, like buy debt on the car. If you just wait
Yeah,
a bit,
money.
you can buy it.
Free money, basically.
Yeah.
But people say free money, bam, I'll just get the debt
Yep.
to do it.
It's free money.
Which
There's
is
definitely no catch to that.
where you just have to be patient, work your job a bit longer, and you can buy it.
Yeah, that's definitely the most
Get a
obvious
better
route.
job. Get a job that sucks more but pays more.
Well, yeah, if you work a job that sucks just for a few years, then you can get it. Then if you're not in debt, you can get a job you
Or
like.
don't go to school because college is dumb.
College
Start
is
your
dumb.
own business.
For sure.
Get
That's
rich
definitely-
like me.
Okay!
I have
Like, he will be.
multiple ones of dollars.
Multiple ones.
He keeps them in wads for the club at night.
Yeah, he's got just stacks of $1 bills.
They're like this
Making
tall.
it rain, yeah.
I have 2 stacks this tall of
I can make it rain for a solid 5 seconds.
Look at
with
that.
my $1 bills.
It really makes me feel special.
Then I had to pick them up and I can do it again.
It's like 52 pickup but better.
Yeah.
What's
We-
52 pickup?
money-
We should play that game.
Yeah, we should play that game. Do we have a deck?
Do we have a deck somewhere? There's a deck of
There's one over here.
Alright, Calvin, you go first.
This is useless for the podcast.
Calvin, you want to go first?
No, I'm not
I was
playing.
talking about debt. You know
Yes.
another way that you could get debt? Playing cards. Gambling addiction.
True.
It's a real problem.
You suck
Now pick them
so much. No one said they were gonna play.
This is decoration for the rest of the
No, this
episode.
is nice. I
This is
think.
for the gambling segment, guys.
Yeah. Yes.
You're still picking it.
Pair
Brandon,
of
you're gonna be
fours.
playing 52 pickup. Was this a brand new deck?
This So some people
Not anymore.
think they can get rich just by being good at playing poker and cards, gambling. Which you definitely could make money doing that, but imagine if you're going into debt to have money to put into that.
Well, how you get that with gambling is you gamble more than you have.
That's always a good idea.
You need to set aside a certain amount and not exceed it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Budgeting.
Like our dad went to do poker with some guys from his work.
Mm-hmm.
He went in with like $100 to spend. He said he doubled his money leaving.
He said he won
And
both
he was
games.
never invited back, sadly.
Oh.
He won both games he played.
Cleaned him out.
It was his first time going to.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Making a really good first
you
game.
gotta let them win and fool them into thinking you suck, and then raise the odds and
Yeah.
take all their money.
Well, poker, though, some of it is chance.
That's what sucks when you're gambling. There's just so much chance.
Yeah, you could just get unlucky.
So you
And
should
lose all your
bet
money.
money on chess tournaments, not poker.
No, don't bet. Don't bet money.
Horse races, come on!
Yeah, what about horse races? How do you
Gambling
feel
is
about
not intrinsically bad. It's bad if you do it too much.
I think gambling, though, is financially, it's always bad. Why would you do it?
It's fun.
It's
if it's
just
fun,
gamble.
you shouldn't do it to make money. You should do it
Okay,
because
but like
it's fun.
horse racing?
Horse races, there's nothing fun about that. Why do people
It's
do
fun.
that?
I'm telling you.
It's a thrill thinking, oh, will my horse win?
I would say poker, that seems like fun.
It's
'cause
like
then
football
there's-
games.
Then
You
there's,
bet on football games. That's fun.
I don't bet on football games.
Okay, but like,
Someone's been raised wrong
I
here.
don't see
You get to guess
I
who it
don't
is.
see why you would.
because
would
it
say-
makes you more invested in the game.
Maybe after you have made some money and you're out of debt, maybe then you can.
No, it's a leisure activity.
Well, yeah, I would say though, don't gamble when
gamble if
you're
you're in
when
debt.
you're
Don't
not.
do that.
Well, if you're in debt for sure, but if you don't
Maybe
have
gamble
much
to
money,
get out of debt.
Well,
like-
no, it's like instead of going out for dinner or something that you enjoy, you could choose to spend your recreation money how you want. And
or
if
you could
gambling
save
is
it
what
if
you
you're
think
a
is
poor person
fun,
like me.
then you should gamble. I say nothing against gambling if you do it
If
in
you don't-
moderation.
Yeah.
So what's everyone's closing thoughts on debt?
Who's gonna start?
Bobby.
Debt, in a word, is bad. Don't do
Braeden?
it.
No, one word. Bad. Bobby's word. What's your word?
Overrated.
Life ending.
That's
two
two
words.
No spaces.
It's a hyphen. Is
Yeah.
that a hyphen?
Hyphens
I-
don't count as one word.
They do.
That is
They
complete.
do here.
Alright.
Thanks for
Yeah.
watching our podcast today. We'd like to remind you to share this with all your friends. Help us grow.
All your friends.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.